Kalyan Eparchy youth. Hope you all are doing good. I, Carmel Joy, along with the entire Exco team, welcome you all to yet another informative and interesting episode of PEP Talk. A famous quote says, "Money does not dictate our lifestyle. It's what we do to get it and how we manage our finances that determines our lifestyle." So, for today's episode, we have among us Mr. Savio Vareed, Advanced Financial Goal Planner and founder of Money Synergy, who would be addressing us on the topic 3 important financial essentials. We welcome you, sir.
If you would like to have a lot of money in your life? Thank you. How many of you would like to have a lot more of happiness in your life? Thank you. How many of you would like to have a lot more of both in your life? Excellent. If the answer to any of the question you answered as yes, let me tell you, you have come to the right place. My dear friends, my name is Savio Vareed. I am the founder of my firm Money Synergy, and I would like to warmly welcome you to this video. At the outset, I want to really thank you for stopping by to listen to me. I would also like to thank Father Director, Jaren and his team, the youth group, for giving me an opportunity to address and make this video. Let me tell you this, it is my privilege and honor to be addressing you. Thank you very much. In today's video, we are going to be looking at 3 important aspects. What I feel, according to me, after having experienced it, following it in my own life, looking at my clients' life who are doing very well, reading books and looking at the video courses and the content online, I have come to a conclusion that these 3 things are extremely important in order to live a happy and a stable financial life. And this is exactly what we're going to be looking at. The 3 things that we will look at is, how do you exactly manage your money? The pattern shouldn't be money comes in, money goes out. If that's your pattern, you want to listen to this. The pattern shouldn't be that before the month is over, your salary is finished. Sounds familiar? You need to listen to this. So that's the first thing we are going to look at. The second thing that we will be looking at is in your pyramid of life progression. As you keep moving up the ladder, there could be certain events that can come up. There could be certain risks that can come up. It is very important that any of this risk or any of these events that can derail you from your goals, from your purpose, from your dreams, you need to take care of that, or else it will be a challenge for you. So second point we are going to be looking at is, how exactly do you take care of any risk that can come up in your life? And the third thing, guys, very, very important, is what I feel is, you need to get out of this mentality that I work, I get paid. I work, I get paid. What if you don't get paid? How are you going to manage that? So third point we are going to look at is, how do you create a habit, a system, so that you start generating an additional source of income? So I'm going to teach you a proven system, and this comes from my guru T. Harv Eker. There are multiple authors, there are many different strategies which have come out on talking about how to manage your money. I resonate personally a lot with Mr. T. Harv Eker, and I would like to teach you what he thinks is the right way to manage your money. All right, so let's get started. I hope you're able to see the screen now. Okay, all right. So we are going to understand how you should be managing your money in the right way. All right, so it is very important that you inculcate this money management system. So it's my humble request to you, pay careful attention. Maybe you could write this down, because when you write down, you retain things longer as compared to just passively listening. So trust me, take out a book, please write down. Okay, so this is how we are going to distribute any income that comes in. So guys, any money, any income that you receive, this is how I will recommend you should be managing it. So let's have a look at it. Okay, so basically your money is going to get divided into 6 compartments. All right, this compartments is your household expenses, your investments for your goals, any goals, short term, long term, mid term, any goals, everything should be gathered over here. Okay, financial freedom account. Now, this is only for your retirement. This is for you. This is only for you. It is not meant for your child's education. It is not meant for buying a house. It is meant for your retirement. It is meant when you take a break and you say, I cannot work or I don't want to work, this money will take care of you from that point onwards. Play account is something which was very fascinating, and I personally like this a lot. When you talk about play, see, because continuously we are working very, very hard. Now it is important you also spend some time, some money enjoying yourself, rewarding yourself. So that's essentially what the play account is. Charity, okay? He says whatever we get, it's a blessing. So you want to share a more of that blessing. Okay, so and the next thing is education. This is not your child's education, this is your education. You constantly need to learn, you constantly need to evolve, and you constantly need to be growing. Okay, so there is a certain amount of money that you also need to keep aside for that. Now let's look at the percentages. Now any money that comes in, 50% of that will get into your household account. Okay, any money that comes in, 50% goes towards your household expenses. So your utility bills, your grocery. Also, if you have surplus amount, you could put in any EMIs that you have over here. Okay, so I hope you've got it. So if you receive 100 rupees, 50 rupees goes towards this account called as household expenses. Okay, the next 20 rupees, the next 20% of whatever income comes in gets into your investments account. What is your investments account? Like I said, your child's education, which could be a long-term goal, or you buying a house, getting ready, the initial down payment, or even buying a watch, or buying a jewelry for ladies. Anything, guys, will come in over here. It will have a price tag, and you will start accumulating that money under the investments account. Till the time you do not have that money, you don't buy it. Now, do not get overwhelmed when I say that. You have to have 6 bank accounts. I definitely understand it is a headache to manage so many accounts. If you have it, that's ideal, okay? But in case you do not, at least have 3 separate bank accounts. One bank account you use for your household, okay? And the other 3, education, charity, and play. The next one, have a separate one for your investments, wherein you have a clarity that if you want to buy, let's say, for example, a super bike, and if the amount is not pulled up to what it is, you don't buy it. You cannot dig into or pull up money from a separate account. So you will have to maintain that discipline. And yes, a third account for a financial freedom account, which you never touch, and that's for your future. Okay, so at least have 3 bank accounts. So 2 things you want to remember when it comes to distribution of your money. So first, yes, definitely, like I told you before, these 2 things, you have to distribute your money as per the percentages you decide. Okay, all right. So it cannot be the old pattern now. It cannot be money comes in and money goes out. All right, so 2 things, guys. First, you decide the percentage of money you would like to allocate to each of the account. If it's very, very difficult for you, let's say household is consuming everything, there is a lot of expenses, you definitely want to get started with the financial freedom account. 10% gets into that. That's mandatory. The remaining 90% you decide. Slowly you start getting into the other accounts as well. But if you have sufficient money, plan it this way. And second is the discipline. This is a failure if there is no discipline. The whole point is when the entire money lies in your bank account, you think you have money for everything. But now you know if it's a specific account, the money is for that specific task. So if a If one of the accounts do not have money, you cannot perform that task. You will have to wait till the money comes to another account. So please get into that discipline. Okay, so remember, any money that comes in, you distribute it. You have the choice to, bifurcate the accounts and give in your own percentages like you would want. And the third thing, practice discipline. Never digress from that, because if you do it, this is going to be a very powerful system for you, and in the next 2 to 3 years you will escalate to a very different level in your finances. And trust me, the very fact about awareness, what is the money that's coming in and what is the money that's going out, that itself would be a very powerful and a learning experience for you. Okay, so all the very best. Let's get into the next thing that I would want all of us to learn. Okay. All right. So what is it that you're looking at, guys? Look at them carefully. Have any of you visited? Okay, so these are pyramids. You're absolutely right. Let me ask you a question. How old are these pyramids? How old are they? It's been how many years that they are standing? Do you know that? You're correct. It has been there since ages. If you Google it, it says it's almost 4,000 to 5,000 years old. How come it is still standing strong? Have you ever given a thought to it? Just think about it. What is the reason that something, even after so many thousands and thousands of years, still can be standing strong? That is precisely because, yes, the foundation is strong. Because the foundation is strong, it stands tall. It stands perfectly. It's not shaken, it's not damaged, it's not destroyed. Okay, so similarly, even in your life, we are going to try and understand in your life progression pyramid how to keep your foundation strong. Let's dive into it, guys. Okay, so let's say this is your pyramid of life. Okay, now there are certain things that is happening. What is happening? You are making your working income. Am I right? Yeah. So you are making your working income. You, with that working income, you're also building your investments. You're building your investments. Okay. And slowly with the investments, you're also building up physical assets. You're buying houses, you're buying lands, you're building up physical assets. Now, I'm sure you will agree with me, each of this is for a specific purpose. Let's look at those. Okay, so let's look at your working income. Your working income as a specific purpose. What is it? Your working income is used for your household expenses and your lifestyle. Okay, your investments also has a specific purpose. What is it? It is used for your short-term goals, your child's education, your child's marriage, etc. Your investments also has a specific goal. Your physical assets that you pull in, that also has a specific goal. It is for your retirement. You feel very secure when you invest into a real estate because you see it's non-volatile. Of course, the rates changes, but then it's not as volatile as an equity market. So you find it very safe and secure. Okay, you build it so that you have a secured retirement. You build it so that just in case you're no more, it's your spouse's security. So that is, so you will agree with me that these three types of things that you do in your life, there are specific purpose for that. And each of the specific purpose is very important. Your household expenses, absolutely important. Investments, your goals, your mandatory goals, absolutely important. Your retirement, your spouse's security, absolutely important. All of these things are very, very important. And, I'm sure you will agree with me. So let's move further, guys. So all of these things is controlled. Do you know by whom? It's controlled by you. It is controlled by you. Each of this income is because, you go to work or you do your business. You plan, you strategize, you build your investments, and you further strategize and build physical assets, and you're doing it for specific goals. Okay, now have you ever given a thought, if something happens to you, will this pyramid stay secure? Okay, the question you need to ask is, how can you keep your pyramid secure? Because if something happens to you, all right, if the pyramid is not secure, all of these things that you've planned will go for a toss. And you cannot afford to do that, because each of those things that you're planning for is very, very important. Okay, now here is what I would like to recommend, how you can keep your pyramid of life, the different events that happen in life, secure and safe, so that each of this reaches its purpose, reaches its goal. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So there are 4 things I am going to recommend, which is more from a risk mitigation perspective. Your life can have certain events, certain risks that can derail you from your goals and your purpose and your dream. So this is essentially what I would say you should be focusing on, you should be looking at. Okay, so let's start looking at it. A 6 months contingency fund. I'm sure many of you will agree with me at the moment, because of the current situation that we are in, that having a contingency fund or having liquidity is very, very important. Now, if you've not had it in the past, that's okay. But I would strongly recommend that you start building this up. Now, this is to be used when you have an income loss. Now, you have mandatory expenses every month. If the income stops, how are you going to manage? It is a sad fact that today I speak to a lot of my clients and I hear stories about, pay cuts. I hear stories about that they have lost their job. I am also listening to stories about there is no jobs to be found. It is a sad situation. But I want you to, regardless whether you've planned this, before or not, please go ahead and do it now. You need to have a minimum of 3 to 6 months of your expenses saved in a bank account, and that's a separate thing. You will never touch it. Now that's again, talking about the previous thing, you have to maintain that discipline. This contingency fund is for you when you have an income loss. Income loss mostly should happen when, let's say, you're hospitalized, your medical bills are taken care of, but then, you being in the hospital, your income wouldn't come in. So that's one situation wherein you can have an income loss. The second is you've lost your job. The second is you quit your job. The second is your business is not doing well. So very important, very essential that you have 6 months of contingency fund. Let's look at the next thing, guys. The next thing is permanent disability insurance. Now, very, very important, guys. You are able to go to work. You're able to do the task. You're able to take care of separate things because you are able. What if you get disabled? Okay, so if I have to speak to you, I require this ability to talk. I require the ability of speech. If I have to come and meet you at your at your place, or if I have to go to another place for my work, I need legs to travel. So very, very important, guys. This is something that is normally ignored, but this can be a big challenge because it can render you helpless. You will become dependent on life. So very, very important. If at all this risk comes up, you are covered for that. So you have this disability insurance wherein, let's say you lose a part of your body, you get a lump sum amount paid. Okay, so I will definitely recommend this as well. All right, the next thing is health insurance. Today's time, you would have realized the importance of having a health insurance. Now, I would like to make a mention about it over here. Now, a lot of people I talk to, they say we have corporate insurance. Okay, we get insurance from my company, so I don't need it. But I would definitely like to recommend you that go ahead and speak to an advisor and tell him to give you a health insurance, because what if you change your company tomorrow and there is no health insurance. So what if your company all of a sudden decides that you stop going to, probably cover your parents, or, even for you, we are not going to give you insurance because it's cost cutting for us now. What if your company closes down and the new company that you go to doesn't have a health insurance? It is mandatory, you should have it, guys, because a new health insurance comes with an exclusion. It has a 30 days exclusion, it has a 2-year exclusion. If there are any pre-existing diseases, it has an exclusion for that as well. Okay, so I would recommend, in parallel to what your corporate insurance is, you should also have your own insurance. Now, what is the amount of insurance? We strongly recommend it should be a minimum of 10 lakhs minimum. We are settling a lot of COVID patients bills as well, and the average bill starts from 3 to 4 lakhs on a very lower side. On a higher side, we have seen bills even 15 lakhs plus. Okay, so medical treatments are expensive. All the money that you've saved with a lot of amount of hard work and also having invested number of years to pull that amount, you don't want that to be derailed into a medical expense. So please have a health insurance. And the next thing, guys, is a life insurance. Now, you don't want to buy any life insurance. You want to specifically look at term insurance. What exactly is a term insurance? Only in case of death, you get paid a good amount. The spouse receives a good amount. Okay, to give you an example, for as less as 15,000 to 20,000 rupees, you can get a cover of 1 crore. Okay, so these are things that we recommend that you should be having with you, so that any risk that comes up, a risk of income loss, a risk of disability, a risk of illness where you're hospitalized, or a risk of even death, the family is still financially stable. All the goals that you have decided, you are able to reach. That can only happen if all your risk is taken care of. If your foundation of your pyramid is strong, doesn't matter what risk will come up, you will still be able to reach your goals. So I hope you've understood, guys. And, I definitely and strongly recommend that you should be having all of these. All right, we finally come to the third point. Long ride, huh? I hope you've not slept off. Because the third point that I'm going to give you is a very important point, and I would want you to be very serious and properly follow what I'm telling you. There's one more request I have. If you have not yet pulled out your notebook and pen, please do so. And yes, sir, if you think it's for your son, your daughter, you're absolutely right. But then even you can go ahead and give it a try. Just pull out your notebook and write down, because this is a very powerful exercise. This exercise, I did it myself. Again, it is not something that I have created, but it's something that I've learned and I would like to share it with you. Okay, so I want you to pull out this notebook, pull out this pen, and do exactly what I tell you to do. Now, this third point is all about identifying what is that one skill you would like to develop, and then creating a system where you do that daily and become an expert in it, so that you're able to make some money out of it. Okay, the ideal thing you can be in is a business, but I get it, not everybody is cut out to do business. So you do your job. There is absolutely no problem with that. Do your job, but it is mandatory that you start making additional source of income. Because look at the current situation. I have many examples of people who have got pay cuts. I've heard many examples of people who have lost their job. What if you are the next one to lose your job? What if you are the next one where the salary is going to be half? Are you prepared for it? So I don't mean to scare you. I just want to prepare you. So that's all I'm trying to do through this. Okay, so let's get started, guys. And I request you, there are going to be certain questions I'm going to display. I want you to write the answer to that. All right, so let me start the screen share over here. Okay, so here is the statistics that we are looking at. 87% of the world's population is into linear growth. Okay, there is a linear growth, there is a leveraged growth. 87% of the people is into linear growth, which essentially means I put in the effort, the income comes in. The day I am unable to put in the effort, the income will not come. Okay. All right, now before we also move, I would like to introduce my friend Steven. He is into recruitment. Since we're talking about jobs over here, uh, I know him pretty well. Is also known as Sagar. He runs his institution Divine 21. So do get in touch with Steven if you're looking out for a job. Okay, his office is based in Thane. All right, moving on, guys. uh, this is exactly how a linear job looks like, okay, or a linear kind of an income looks like. What you want is a leveraged income. So we will talk more about that later, but basically I wanted to look at this image for a while and grasp it and understand what exactly is happening. Because if you look at the image, this person is putting in the efforts and is moving the money up. If it stops, if he moves out, that comes rolling down. Okay, and if that is what the case is, of yours and mine, we need to change that. We need to absolutely change that. So here is what we are going to do is get paid for your expertise. All right, how do you do that? Now I want you to pull out a notebook and start writing down exactly the question I'm going to ask you. Now you might tell me, Savio, I want to make an additional source of income, but I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what exactly I can do. So here is an introspection exercise we are going to get into so that you exactly understand what you're good at. It will help you to realize that these are things you could actually scale into. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to look at, two different aspects when we talk about understanding yourself. So one is an inner based aspects. Okay, so we are going to look at what is your passion, what is your purpose, what are some of your natural talents, what has your experience been, what is the knowledge, what is the message you carry with yourself that you want to communicate, what is your learning, what have you learned. Okay, so let's get started. The question number one: what are your personal interests? What do you love to do? What brings you joy? Okay, so what are your personal interests? What are things you continuously love to do? So what is it that makes you very happy whenever you do it? Write that down. Okay, it could be playing music, it could be spending time with children, it could be walking in the garden, it could be trekking, it could be going out in the nature, it could be reading a book. Whatever it is, please write it down. Okay, now read this question clearly, okay, correctly. All right, what three non-fiction books would you have liked to have written? What it essentially means, it's not asking you which books would you like to write about. Okay, it is talking about based on your experience, which is the three types of non-fiction books you could have written. Whatever comes to your mind, write it down. Okay, please do it. Please do it. Okay, please do it. I know you've not yet started, so I request you, take a book, write it down. This will help you. This will definitely change the quality of life you're living, because this will help you identify who you are. Please do it. Okay, I go to the next question. What's your purpose? How can you help and serve others? What would others ask you for advice on? What's your purpose, guys? So my purpose is to help 1 million families live a life of abundance and prosperity. What's your purpose in life? So what is it that people come and ask you advice about? Is it relationship? Is it is it about a specific topic? What is it? Please write it down. What challenges have you overcome? Just look back in your life. There are different situations you've encountered. There are different challenges that you've come across. Which are those you've successfully come out? You have an experience in that. You have an expertise in that. Write them down. Okay, the next question: what are some of your God-given, inherent and natural talents? What are your best characteristics and strengths? What are your strengths, guys? What is your natural talent? Maybe it's dancing, maybe it's singing, maybe it's playing music by ear, maybe it's socializing, maybe it's your communication, maybe it's your strategic thinking. What is it? Please identify, write it down. Okay, what are some of the unique experiences have you had? You created a viral video, or you got an experience, of going to Himalayas. uh, what are some of the different experience that normally people do not have you've had? Okay, now I would also request you can take a photo of this and keep it with you, so that just in case if you've missed out some questions, you've not been able to answer, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, I will move on to the next screen. What are you knowledgeable about? What are your skills? What are your learned strengths? So based on what you've learned, let's say you understand medicine. Let's say you are an engineer, you understand coding, you understand making apps, you understand the different languages. What are you knowledgeable about? Just write it down. What is the message you stand for? What message would you love to share with people? Is there something in your heart that you feel very strongly, you feel about that, and you want to communicate to people? Whatever that is, write it down. It could be about global warming, it could be about child trafficking, it could be about equality between men and women, it could be about how to scale up, how to support the people who are below poverty line, how to improve the quality of education. Whatever the message you strongly connect with or resonate with, please write that down. What do you want to become? What do you want to learn more about? Now, we are all passionate about certain aspects and we want to learn more about that. I want to learn more about how to communicate. I want to learn more about how to do forex trading. I want to learn more about how do I strategically build up portfolios. So these are things which I constantly keep learning about. Look at all your answers, format them as a list of possible topics you could talk or teach about now or in future. Now, these are things what you've made a list of. I would want you to put them down all together. Now, these are your areas of interest, experience, expertise, etc. Now, this is what you are. Now, these are the things you can build upon. Okay, let's move on. You could also look at what topics keep coming up. So when you look at all of this, there could be certain connections you could build, and you can build up a topic. What topic resonates with you? What topic would you love to teach? So when I say teach, you could become somebody who does courses and teaches people about how to sing, how to dance, how to listen to music and play by ear, or do the coding, build the app. You could do all of that, or you could become a consultant. So basically, I want you to be an expert in it. Okay, now let's move on. So we looked at inner based element. Now this is outer based. It's more about, so these are topics which is in high demand. So these are aspects where people continuously try to understand, try to learn. Okay, so those are health, wealth, success, the technology, the beauty industry, happiness, relationships, spirituality, personal growth, etc. Are there any topics that you, when you talk about the outer world, that you feel interested in? Let's look at some of the questions. You have to understand, okay, considering bases your inner based topics. How can you combine your topic with health, wealth, success? Okay, so looking at the list of things that is personal to you, your experience, the inner based I'm talking about, your expertise, the challenges. When you look at all of that, which specific topic from the list that I'm showing you, you can connect with, because these are the topics which definitely gets sold, which definitely has value. So if you have knowledge and expertise in any of this area, you will be a sort of after person. Okay, now let's look at the next question. How can you apply your topic to a specific niche, group, or target markets? Now essentially this is what you want to understand. You want to understand what are you good at. Okay, you look at your hobbies, you look at your experiences, you look at your challenges, you look at the different things you have learned. Look at all of those and try and identify what is that one skill you can develop upon and you can grow upon to that level of expertise where people are ready to pay you for that. And we want to achieve that, and we want to do that. Okay, the ask yourself, how can I help? Compare the inner based elements with the outer based elements, combine them together and see what is it that you can create which will be helpful to others. Ask yourself this question: how can I help? How can I enhance the life of people? How can you change the life of people? Okay, so it is my humble request that you have done both the exercises, because I want you to understand who you are. Because a lot of times we think about, okay, let me do something in life, but you do not know where to start. All of this, if you sincerely write it down, I have done it myself, you will come to an awareness: oh wow, these are things I'm good at, these are experiences I can share, talk about. And then once you have identified, now let's say you have identified something, let's take an example of health. For example, in health, let's talk about fitness. Okay, what I want you to do is this. Now, this is also very important. You have introspected, you have looked at your life's experiences, you have tried to understand what are you good at. You took that, you looked at the outer elements, about the different thing people are looking help for, you connect them together, and then you reach and arrive at something. Then you reach and arrive at certain aspects and you say, okay, you know what, I can talk about health, or I can talk about technology, or I can talk about fitness, I can talk about beauty, I can talk about technology, anything, guys. Once you've identified that, this is the most important thing you will have to do. What is it? Okay, every day for 30 minutes you are going to try and understand and become more of an expert in that particular topic. So I love communication. I want to understand how to communicate better. I want to teach people how to communicate better. So I have to learn about communication. Now, it cannot be that whatever I know, that's good enough. So there are experts in that, and I need to learn from them. So if you want to be an expert in, let's say, a health industry, you want to understand different aspects of health. And for doing that every day, religiously for 30 minutes. Now, this is weekdays I'm talking about, okay? Every weekday, so Monday, Tuesday, till Friday, every day you spend 30 minutes to learn that. You spend 5 hours over the weekend. Okay, understand what I'm telling you, guys. You have to do this exercise for the next 1 year. You have to do it. There is no option about it. The more you do it, the more you become an expert into a specific topic, the more you will be in demand. The more you will be in demand, the more you're going to scale up financially. And I wish that for you. Okay, so 30 minutes daily and 5 hours on a Saturday and a Sunday. Now, if you have a different work offs, on a different day, but this is essentially what you want to contribute towards your learning. It's 10 hours over the weekend plus 30 minutes for 5 days. So basically 12 and a half hours every week. If you do that, this is how much it turns out to be. Okay, so 30 minutes into 5 days into 4 weeks. So your weekdays amounts to 600 minutes monthly. If you catch up your weekends, that's 300 minutes, okay, into 2 days. So that's Saturday and Sunday, and into 4 weeks. So that's 2,400 minutes monthly. So basically, you have 3,000 minutes that you will get monthly, which means in a year, you have 3,600 hours, sorry, 3,600 minutes, which cumulates to 600 hours. So guys, get ready. I want you to do it because this is one thing that, if there is nothing that you take away from this entire session, this one thing I would want you to follow. I would want you to understand what is it that you're good at, pick that up and implement it daily, learn it daily. So the next 1 year, beginning today, for the next 1 year, 600 hours minimum, you're going to invest into that. Because if you do that, you have 600 hours of immersive practice. And trust me, guys, it will take you to a very, very different level. And then you will have a lot of ideas how you can start making money out of it. I know examples of so many people who have got into understanding of their different niche, their interest, their passion, and they're making money out of it. So I wish you all the very best, and I would want you to do this very, very seriously. So once again, guys, like I said, a lot of things we discussed today. Okay, let's quickly reiterate those. The first one is manage money wisely. Very important, guys. Okay, so start doing that. Second is safeguard your risk. Your life, any risk that comes up needs to be safeguarded. So please ensure that if you do not have a risk mitigation system, you need to put that in place. Okay, pick up one skill, become an expert. This is my most passionate point, which I feel if you start implementing, you will reach a different level in your financial success. And I so wish this for you. Okay, so become an expert, guys. Trust me, becoming an expert, you're always going to be in demand. Even if you do not like anything, the job that you are into, do that very, very nicely. Understand what's the core of your company, what brings in revenue, become an expert in that. Okay, so these are three things, guys. I thank you very much for patiently listening to me. I thank the Eparchy Youth Group. I thank Jedin and team. I thank Father Director. And in a very special way, I thank you for patiently listening to me. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. I hope you have learned something, and I would love to hear stories from you. Now, is it okay if I just take 2 minutes to tell you about my business? Thank you very much, guys. So we have our office in Thane, and we deal with almost 16 different investment options. We cater to almost 500 plus families, okay, both in India and abroad. Okay, we deal with all 5 quadrants of investments. We are into liquidity, we are into safety, opportunity, growth, and real estate. All right. So if you're looking out for a corporate health insurance, you could also get in touch with us so that you have an insurance for your company, your employees. All right. If you're looking out for a health insurance for you or for your family, do get in touch with me. Or yes, if you want to get started with equity investments, the markets are down now. Great time to get started. You can start an SIP into mutual funds. Also, the financial freedom account, 10% that I spoke to you about, you can get started with the mutual funds. So if any of you wish to get connected for your investments options, please do so. It would be of great help to me, and also refer me to all your friends and family. Okay, also if you just want to call me up and tell me about how was your experience about this thing, any feedback, I would also love to listen. So thank you very much once again, guys. May God bless you. Take care, stay safe. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Kalyan Eparchy youth, I would like to thank Mr. Savio Vareed. We will never forget your financial advice and see to it that we plan our lives accordingly. This is Carmel Joy signing off for the day. Stay home, stay safe.